in house training to 2022-23. I am Krishna Prakash Singh. Welcome to all of you. I am Krishna Prakash Singh of Chaman Saraswati Vidya Mandir. My topic is promoting mental health. Mental health is an integral component of health and well-being and influences academic, social, and economic outcomes across the lifespan. Having good mental health means being better able to interact with others, functions, cope, and thrive. It is a basic human right. Mental health exists on a complex continuum with experiences ranging from an optimal state of well-being with experiences ranging from an optimal state of well-being to experiencing sharp mental health conditions with related suffering and often an important impact on the capacity to carry out daily activities. The first 2 decades of life is a critical period for the development of functional competencies that can shape a learner's mental health trajectories. At this particular stage of rapid development and learning, children and adolescents are highly susceptible to environmental influence. Experiences and environments can harm mental health, or they can be shaped to protect it. In multiple consultations with adolescents around the globe, they reported perceiving school as a source of self-esteem, a place that fosters greater awarenesses of the world at large and environment for spending time with friends, a venue for emotional support and an escape from unhealthy and adverse home environments. At the same time that the social was also noted as a setting where they can experience violence, abuse, and extreme academic pressure. Adolescents also highlighted important gender differences in their experiences of school and mental health. Schools and the other learning environments, including in an emergency context, can be equipped to address children and adolescents' mental health and psychological well-being needs. A supportive learning environment should be created, one that safeguards mental health, where all learners and education professionals feel included, supported, and valued. Effective integrations of mental health in school can be defined like that. Improve educational outcomes. Increase learners' mental health literacy. Third is promote learners' social and emotional learning. Help identify at-risk learners and provide support, including through referral pathways to health and social welfare sectors. And the last is reduce the likelihood of mental health concerns developing into more sharp mental health problems and risk behaviors. The global disruption to education caused by the COVID-19 pandemic has affected 1.6 billion learners at the peak of school closures worldwide. pre-existing learning crisis, exacerbating inequality in education and having negative impact on mental health among children and adolescents. Although the need to support child and adolescent mental health and psychological well-being was already urgent, the pandemic has increased risk factors for mental health problems and further exacerbated disparities in access to mental health and psychological support survives among children and adolescents. To tackle the learning crisis and urgently support mental health and well-being needs, UNESCO, UNICEF, and WHO are urgently calling on governments to take action including promoting and protecting mental health and psychological well-being so every child is ready to learn and thrive. Transforming education calls for schools and other learning environments to become more responsive to learners' needs. National governments, education, stakeholders, partners, and donors must prioritize strengthening education systems to ensure every child and adolescent has access to safe and supportive learning environments that promote and respond to their learning development and mental health and psychological well-being needs. This can be done by developing and implementing long-term and sustainable school-based mental health and psychological support. Policies, strategies, and services that respond to learners and educators' mental health and overall well-being at all times and in all contexts. What does mental health and psychological support and services in school will look like that? The following pillars should be seen as the basic components of a mental health and psychological support in schools policy that governments must mainstream with existing education policies, plans, and budgets, including more targeted interventions for children with developmental delays in disabilities. The name of first pillar is like that: create an enabling learning environment for positive mental health and well-being through developing and implementing school-based mental health and psychological support policies informed by learners' needs, voices, and capacities, and embedding mental health, literacy, and social and emotional learning in the curricula from early childhood through to adolescence. The next pillar is guarantee access to early intervention and mental health services and support. Depending on the context, this could include mental health and psychological support services providing a dedicated health practitioner or trained and supportive education sector. Professional in every school, such as a school counselor, or ensuring that every school has a well-defined process to guide learners and teachers concerned about the mental health of a learner or teacher, in which up-to-date information about locally available in persons or health, mental health services provided by the health or social services sectors. Equally important here is to support children and adolescents with mental health problems to optimize their education paths and avoid early school dropouts. The third pillar is in which we will learn how this helps for the mental promoting shepherd. Promote teacher well-being. Here, promote teacher well-being means ensuring that there are policies, strategies, and services in place to support the mental health and well-being of teachers and that of non-teaching staff and all involved in the care and support of learners in schools, including caregivers. This also includes ensuring sufficient additional human resources to ensure teachers are not expected to take on the role of trained mental health staff. The next pillar is like that. Enhance MHPSS capacity in the education workforce. School-based mental health. In this pillar, I would like to discuss about mental health that comes in school age. It means school-based mental health programs should be built on a solid foundation of national, regional, and local education professionals, including social administrators, teachers, and mental health workforce professionals, as for example, school psychologists, school social workers, school counselors, school nurses, and doctors, etc. That work in partnership with children, family, and community-based mental health services ensure that every teacher, school manager, and education professional have access to learning opportunities and training to extend their knowledge and capacities to promote all learners' mental health and well-being in a systemic way, both in national teacher training and in service training opportunities. The last pillar is ensure meaningful collaboration between the school, family, and community to build a safe and nurturing learning environment that creates a sense of being for every learner. This means that emphasizing the need for strong and frequent communication between learners, caregivers, and teachers to elect understanding of the strength and needs and build complementary strategies and support mechanism between the home and educational setting to meet those needs. Learners and families are the home and educational setting to meet those needs. Here, one thing is that which helps in mental health of children, that is like their families and the role of teachers in the classroom. And support mechanism between the home and educational setting to meet those needs. Learners and families are active agents. So learners and families are the two main things that help for the children. When children come to the school, so these are the factors that affect the mental health of the children. They can provide insight on school strength and areas of need, program selection, implementation, considerations, and ongoing participation can itself result in more trusting relationship, increased self-confidence and self-esteem, and an increased sense of mastery and control, each of which enhances young people's well-being and resilience. When implementing the pillars, the following considerations are important. We are going to discuss about the implementing, that are the pillars for the consideration. These are the important pillars. First is governments must ensure sufficient human and financial resources and institutional support and capacity are able to promote and protect children. Adolescents, teachers, and caregivers' mental health and psychological well-being in every school, and learning environment from early childhood to adolescence. Next is I will going to discuss is like that mental health and psychological programs implemented in school setting must consider the do to harm principle and be informed by evidence and supported by best practices. For instance, the WHO, World Health Organization, UNICEF, helping adolescents and related resources provide evidence-based approaches to promoting and protecting adolescents' mental health in school in close relation with other community-based health services. The next is that are important for the mental health is like that mental health and psychological support, interventions and services in education must be tailored to the children and adolescents context and build on the strengths of children, caregivers, and communities. The engagement of children. Engagement of children means when children comes in his classroom, teacher should care properly. What does he wants from the teacher? Teacher should give more attention for those children who are not according to the class. The main role of children, the main role of teacher for the children is that those children which are not good in mental situation, teacher should give proper care. When teacher gives proper care for those children, then such type of children will come near to a good student that is present in the class. Adolescents and caregivers in designing and in the delivery of school mental health programs and services in critical strengthening education systems to respond to the mental health and psychological support needs in depth. Understanding of the local context, children and adolescents' mental health and psychological well-being can be influenced by interactions with peers and families, by their experiences in schools and communities. Social culture accepts and broader political and economic factors addressing these components in critical for understanding and shape guarding children's mental health and well-being in the school context. Next is school-based mental health program. In the school, some programs will be organized by the management that are helpful for mental health. Because in the classroom, all the students are not good. Some are weak, some are strong. So, teachers should give care attention for such types of students. Some are good or some are bad. So, this is the duty of teacher that comes in the class. So, schools should organize such types of programs in the school, time to time. Must be inclusive and consider the specific needs for children and adolescents of all genders and abilities with focused attention to children and adolescents with mental health conditions, structural factors such as prevalent beliefs, norms, and values, specifically concerning gender, disabilities, race, and sexuality, can influence learners' experience in schools. Schools-based mental health programs must consider the specific needs of children. School-based mental programs means that program is only for the students, for the children who is mainly related to mental health children. Children and adolescents exposed to marginalization and vulnerabilities to avoid enhancing stigma, and exclusion of risk groups in communities and equalize opportunities of all children and adolescents to enjoy an optimal standard of mental health and well-being. For instance, different forms of discrimination can be tackled through gender responsive social and emotional learning programs. The next is comprehensive programs and service to promote and protect learners must be multi-year and multi-sectoral. Health education, social welfare, and children protection, among other sectors, need to contribute initiatives. Multi-sectoral operational framework was developed to support the development of programs across sectors to improve the mental health and psychological well-being of children, adolescents, and their caregivers globally. Increase mental health literacy and promote the development of transferable skills, also referred to as social and emotional learning. Next is facilitate yearly identification and yearly intervention for those needing. Ensure linkage to community-based mental health care. Next is increase care giver and community engagement to support children learning and overall well-being. 10 reasons why mental health and psychological support in school and learning environment is important. So these are the mental health and psychological support that comes in school and learning environment. I will like to discuss about these factors. First is mental health is fundamental to good health. Mental health is fundamental to good health. So mental health is the good thing for those students who is not feel good in the class. And well-being and is critical to children's learning, development and thriving. The benefits of better mental health extend beyond psychological well-being itself, from social equality and inclusion to economic growth and prosperity. Next is the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child commits all countries to promote and protect child and adolescent mental health. Third is mental health and psychological well-being is sufficient concern for adolescents around the globe. Fourth is half of mental health disorders begin by the age of 14-12. This is the stage of students in which half of mental health disorders. So this age is a critical stage of students that comes in the class. So teachers should take more care for such types of students who is in the classroom, because this age is very essential, because students becomes good or bad. So teachers should give more attention by his behaviors, by the support of such types of students. So it is critical to intervene as early as possible. Nextly, evidence increasingly confirms the importance of strengthening the capacity of schools and early childhood education services to promote mental health and assist children and families dealing with mental health problems. These are the things that affect the mental health of children. First is family. Family is a important factor in the life of students, because a children knows everything from his family. If a student comes from good family, he behaves in the class in good manner, because he comes from the good family. So teachers should give more care for the students. Early childhood education services to promote mental health and assist children and families dealing with mental health problems. Next is schools and learning environments. These are the factors, that is schools and learning environments. Learning environment means in that environment in which student learns from the environment, from his family, from the behavior of teacher. Including early childhood education centers provide the opportunity to reach large number of children and adolescents. Next is for children and adolescents whose home environment is not safe and nurturing, the school can be a critical safety net supporting basic social, emotional, and psychological and physical needs. Next is school-based programs. School-based programs means programs that are organized in the school time to time, that helps the children for become a good citizen. For social and emotional learning are linked to mental health. So these are the two learnings, that is social and emotional learning, which are linked to mental health, because mental health has affected from these two learning. First is social and other is emotional learning. Emotional learning means bhavnatmak learning. benefits in countries at all income levels. Next is school are an important element of community-based mental health support. There are two institutions for a student. First is his family and second is school. These are the things that affect the emotion of children. Last is prevention and treatment of mental disorders. In adolescence leads to improved health and well-being over time and yields gains in learning and education outcomes, all of which can translate into benefits to national economies over an individual's lifespan. Mental health is equally important as physical health. When you hurt your leg and it bleeds, it means that if someone gets injuries to his legs, after that bleeding will start, and it is clearly visible. That visible means which are visible for us. We can see what is happening or what is not happening. That you are in pain, but your mental health, when you hurt your leg, mental health problems cannot be seen. These are the main things. If a student is not good from his mental situation, it is not a visible problem. It is not a visible problem. Only we can feel what does the student want from the teacher. It is not a visible thing. Yet they can cause serious damage to a person's life and well-being. Mental health is the very problem for the student. Next is to work on the prevention of mental health issues. It is important to raise awarenesses about the problems. Schools are one of the best places. Schools are one of the best places to start mental health awareness. Family is one factor. The other factor that influence the mental health is school. As according to the World Health Organization, close to 20% or 1 in 5 students are actively dealing with a mental health issue. What is mental health? The World Health Organization defines mental health as mental well-being in which people can realize their ability to cope up with the normal stress, work productively and contribute to the community functioning of community. Mental health has an impact on. First is educational outcomes. Next is productivity at work. Third is development of personal relationship. Fourth is crime rate. Fifth is alcohol and drug abuse. These are the factors that affect the mental situation of the student. 10th October is celebrated as World Mental Health Day to raise awareness on the issue. Around the world and to mobilize efforts in support of it. This day provides an opportunity. What is the opportunity? For all stakeholders working on mental health issues to talk about their experience and discuss that more needs to be done to make mental health care a reality for people worldwide. Why is mental health important? Why is mental health important in the progress of children? More than 450 million people suffer from mental disorders. In the world, 450 million people that suffer from mental disorders. According to WHO, by 2020, depression will constitute the second largest disease burden worldwide. The global burden of mental health will be well beyond the treatment capacity of developed and developing countries. The importance of mental health is to save people from this global burden and to treat mental illness. First, mental health leads to social problems like employment, poverty, broken family, drug abuse, and related crime. These are the factors that affect the life of the student. First is social problems. Social problems means that problem which are responsible for the student, in which he lives in his family. Second is unemployment. This is the today unemployment is the biggest problem that every student faces. Next is poverty. Last is broken family. Broken family means not joint family. Joint family, if a student, if a children lives in a joint family, all the members give support to the children by many factors that are by sympathy. So these are the factors which affect the life of the children, because all these things are found in a joint family. Drug abuse and related crime. The drug creates the situation of crime when a people that suffers from drug problems, he starts to do the work of crime. medically unfit patients with depression. डिप्रेशन की जो समस्या है आजकल के स्टूडेंट के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी गंभीर समस्या बन रही है। इससे जब वो अपने कर्म के अनुसार, अपने मेहनत के अनुसार जब उसे सफलता नहीं मिलती है तो उसमें डिप्रेशन की भावना आ जाती है। जो उसे फैमिली, उसके क्लास रूम में जो टीचर्स होते हैं, जो और सारे स्टाफ्स होते हैं जो स्कूल में काम करते हैं, उससे उसे सपोर्ट नहीं मिलता है तो वैसे स्टूडेंट्स में डिप्रेशन की भावना भर जाती है। तो हमें इन सब चीज़ों से बच्चों को दूर रखना चाहिए ताकि वो मेंटल हेल्थ से प्रभावित ना हो। तो ये सारे फैक्टर्स हैं जो स्टूडेंट के मेंटल हेल्थ को प्रभावित करते हैं। तो परिवार को भी और सबसे बड़ा स्कूल में जितने भी हम लोग स्टाफ रहते हैं वो सारे बच्चों को के अंदर में डिप्रेशन की भावना ना आने दें, तभी वो आगे चल के एक स्वस्थ नागरिक अपने देश के लिए बन सकता है और अपने देश के लिए कुछ कर सकता है। पुअर हेल्थ, पुअर मेंटल हेल्थ diminishes immune functioning. Chronic illness like diabetes, heart disease, cancer increase the risk of depression. So these are the factors that gives the main thing in the life of student. Diabetes, heart disease, cancer increases the risk of डिप्रेशन। अगर ये सब डिप्रेशन की भावना इन्हीं सब कारणों से स्टूडेंट में आती है या जो हमारे बच्चे में आते हैं, पहला हार्ट डिजीज, डायबिटीज, इनसे जो प्रभावित हो जाते हैं, चिंता से ये सब बीमारियां होती है, तो इन सब फैक्टर से बच्चों को दूर रखना चाहिए ताकि जो है क्लासरूम में एक बच्चे मेंटल हेल्थ प्रॉब्लम से सफर ना कर सके। What can be done to increase awareness? ऐसा क्या करना चाहिए जो कि हम बच्चों में इन सब चीजों की जागरूकता को बढ़ा सकें? Our teachers provide students with the resources and support they need when it comes to mental health. Here are 7 ways to promote mental health awareness in the school. These are the ways by which mental health awareness can be improved in a student in the school. Let us say it. We promote self-esteem. Our teachers help the students to understand that it is better to resolve the conflicts than keep thinking about them and shun. Setbacks are inevitable, so just face them. We boost their self-confidence. We boost up their self-confidence by doing some type of work. Supporting good decision. First is supporting good decision, decision making. Next is assertiveness, prevents and self-determination. Third is we encourage students to eat healthy and stay fit. Students should always take diet, good food, and after that they will stay fit. After that they will stay fit. If a student takes healthy taking nutritious food, a student save for a long time. A student save for a long time when he takes healthy diet. Nextly, we provide outlets to relieve anxiety and stress. Physical activities like sports and meditation helps relieve anxiety and stress and works wonders on a student's overall mental health. We promote school policies that support mental health, such as violence prevention. Lastly, open communication with honesty and without being judgmental helps to open conversations with the students and know if they are in trouble. Tackling mental health in schools. Educate parents and students on early signs and symptoms. It is important for everyone in the school community to know the signs and symptoms of mental health problem, so they can help those who may be struggling. So it is important for everyone in school community. If a student comes in the classroom, let us watch a video for this topic.
माँ को देखो, वो हर हाल में गाना गाती है। मैं उन्हें बहुत प्यार करती हूँ।
अंतरा, तुमने 2 अलग-अलग तरह के रिबन बांध रखे हैं।
हाँ माँ, मुझे दोनों रंग पसंद है, इसीलिए मैंने दोनों को साथ पहना है।
ठीक है, जैसे भी तुम खुश रहो। चलो अपना लंच बॉक्स लो।
कोई मुझसे बात नहीं कर रहा। शायद मैं इनके ग्रुप में रहने के लायक नहीं हूँ। सबके पास सुंदर सुंदर टिफिन है और सब साथ में खाना खाते हैं। कोई भी अपना खाना मेरे साथ नहीं बांटता। मैं बहुत अकेला महसूस करती हूँ।
हेलो अंतरा, क्या तुम मेरे साथ बाहर चलना चाहोगी? क्या तुम ठीक हो बेटा? मैंने देखा कि तुम कुछ परेशान हो। सब ठीक तो है?
मेरा कोई दोस्त नहीं है। मैं अपने आप को बहुत अकेला महसूस करती हूँ। जब भी मैं इन सबको एक दूसरे के साथ बात करते, खेलते और गाना गाते सुनती हूँ, मुझे लगता है मैं उनके ग्रुप का हिस्सा कभी नहीं बन सकती। कोई भी मुझसे बात नहीं करता, कोई मुझसे अपनी टिफिन भी नहीं बांटता। मैं हमेशा अकेले खाती हूँ।
अंतरा, मुझे गर्व है कि तुमने अपने मनोभावों को व्यक्त किया। तुम्हारी माँ ने पौष्टिक खाना दिया है, जो कि एक सुंदर टिफिन बॉक्स से कहीं बेहतर है। मैं समझ सकती हूँ कि कई बार ये तुम्हारे लिए काफी कठिन होता है, लेकिन तुम्हारे अंदर ऐसी परिस्थितियों में भी सकारात्मक तरीके से कार्य करने की क्षमता है। तुम अकेले नहीं हो। तुम अपने चुने तरीकों से ऐसे मनोभावों से निपट सकती हो।
मेरी माँ कहती है कि जब भी कभी मैं अपनी भावनाओं को नियंत्रित न कर पाऊँ तो इस गाने को गाऊं और इससे मुझे सुकून मिलता है।
ओह, इसलिए तुम कोने में बैठकर ये धुन गुनगुना रही थी। गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स, कृपया ध्यान दीजिए। गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स, कृपया ध्यान दीजिए। हमारा विद्यालय एक अंतर विद्यालय गायन प्रतियोगिता आयोजित करवा रहा है। अगर आप इसमें भाग लेना चाहते हैं तो यहाँ आए और कक्षा के लिए कुछ पंक्तियाँ गाएं। ठीक है, शुरू करते हैं। अच्छा प्रयास बच्चों। और कोई? अंतरा,
हाँ?
क्या तुम कक्षा को अपनी प्रतिभा दिखाना चाहोगी?
हाँ। जरा उसके बालों को तो देखो।
वो 2 अलग अलग रंगों के रिबन बांधे हुए हैं। कितनी बेवकूफ है।
मैम कितनी अच्छी है और मेरी मदद करती है। माँ ने मुझे प्रेरणा दी जिसके कारण आज मैं अच्छा गा सकती हूँ। मैं अपनी प्रतिभा दिखा सकती हूँ। मैं तो उड़ जाऊँ आसमां के पार।
अंतरा ने अपने चुनौतीपूर्ण मनोभावों को नियंत्रित किया। जैसे वो अपनी कक्षा के सम्मुख खड़ी हुई थी, उसी ऊर्जा के साथ फिर से वो अंतर विद्यालय गायन प्रतियोगिता में अपनी चमक बिखेरने को तैयार है। वाह, इस लड़की की कितनी बेहतरीन आवाज है। मुझे बहुत पसंद आया इसका गाना। ये हमारी बेटी है।
अंतर विद्यालय गायन प्रतियोगिता का प्रथम पुरस्कार दिया जाता है अंतरा को।
मनोभावों को समझना और नियंत्रित करना बहुत जरूरी है। हमारी देखने, सुनने, सूंघने, छूने और सोचने की क्षमताओं की ही तरह महसूस करने की क्षमता भी आत्म जागरूकता के लिए उतनी ही महत्वपूर्ण है। मनोभावों को व्यक्त करने की क्षमता किशोरावस्था में बहुत मायने रखती है। जिस उम्र में किशोर भावनात्मक दबाव का सामना करते हैं, हमेशा याद रखें, आप अकेले नहीं हैं और आपको अपनी भावनाएं दूसरों से साझा करनी चाहिए। आपके भीतर प्रेम और सहयोग की भावना है और आपका मानसिक स्वास्थ्य व भावनात्मक भलाई बहुत मायने रखती है।
In this video, we will highlight some of the signs and behaviours associated with mental health conditions. Knowing these signs may help you, your friends and family, or work colleagues break through the stigma surrounding mental health and start a discussion. Statistics have shown that 1 in 4 people will suffer with a mental ill health issue in any given year. This can be as high as 1 in 2 adults who are in debt. Over the past 25 years, anxiety and depression in teenagers has risen by 70%. Mental ill health covers a wide spectrum, from the worries and grief that we all experience, to severe depression or complete loss of touch with reality. Anxiety. We all experience levels of stress and anxiety, whether work pressures or family related. However, for some people, the feelings of anxiety can be prolonged and extreme, making it difficult to carry out simple, everyday tasks and can even cause panic attacks. Common signs to look out for when dealing with an anxious person include reduced concentration and memory, difficulty making decisions, become irritable and angry, and avoid certain situations. Depression. As with anxiety, most of us will experience ups and downs in our lives and during difficult times. If the low mood doesn't improve or go away, this can be a sign of depression. Someone suffering from depression can feel sad, anxious, guilty, angry, helpless, and hopeless. They may also have low self-esteem and a tendency to believe that others only see them in a negative light. Other signs to look out for are self-criticism and blame, impaired memory and concentration, neglecting responsibilities, and loss of interest in appearance and personal hygiene. Bipolar disorder. Bipolar disorder is a severe mood disorder and causes unusual fluctuations in a person's mood. People with this condition can find it hard to maintain relationships and jobs due to their extreme moods. They may lack focus or be unwilling to concentrate on what to you seems to be an important issue. People with bipolar disorder can be full of energy and talking very quickly, easily distracted, going off on unrelated tangents, lacking in energy, or feel sad, pessimistic, and hopeless. Schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a widely misunderstood and feared mental illness. People who suffer from schizophrenia do not have dual personalities, but are rather split from reality and may have delusions about themselves or others.
For students, teaching lesson on the importance of mental health or having posters around the school that serve as mental health check-in reminders can. For parents, a mental health evening can be held where they can ask questions and become aware of how mental health is important for their child. The more mental health awareness is created, the less chance that anybody will have to suffer in silence. Safe, positive score in balance.